Hi, Jonathan Zor here with another VCIC Humanitarian Spotlight. Through the Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities Humanitarian Spotlight Series, I'm interviewing past Humanitarian Award recipients who are demonstrating important leadership in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I'm so pleased to be joined by Dr. Angela Reddix, a 2018 VCIC Humanitarian Award recipient from our Tidewater chapter. Dr. Reddix is founder, president, and CEO of ARDX, an award-winning healthcare management and IT consulting firm. She also founded Envision Lead Grow, an organization teaching girls the critical skills and dedication it takes to accomplish their dreams by becoming an entrepreneur. A trusted community leader, Dr. Reddix serves as a board member and trustee to various local organizations, including the YWCA, Junior Achievement, the Norfolk State University School of Business, and the Hampton Roads Chamber, among many others. Dr. Reddix, you're incredibly busy, and I'm so grateful to you for taking a few minutes to chat with me today. You recently celebrated your birthday by giving out some grants to women entrepreneurs in Hampton Roads. Can you talk about what inspired you to make that act of generosity?
Oh, what inspired me? I remember that first week of having the business pretty much shut down, businesses across the state and across the United States, and having to face or realize what it meant to not have, let's just say, reserves. You know, I've been in business 13 years, and as a federal government contractor, every year I get that feeling of what's going to happen with the budget, you know? And so every year I've had to operate with a contingency plan. So I recognize what it feels like to not be certain about your next dollar. Through the years, we've grown our reserves. We were at a place where we could feel pretty solid, but I recognize that there are women out there who have a dream, who have a passion. Many of them just started their business maybe a year ago, and they're faced with, how am I going to even pay my utilities, pay my overhead, or much less pay myself so that I can feed my family? And so I just thought about how important it is at this time for each of us to use any gifts, any talent, any surplus that we have to make the difference. It was during the time in that first week or so when you were hearing about how people were looking for unemployment, et cetera. They weren't getting their unemployment claims paid, et cetera. And that was ringing really close to home. Many of my friends have small businesses, and I mean the micro businesses, where they're still learning to put their infrastructure together so that they have the documentation needed to be able to submit for many of the loan processes out there. And so I just know that in honor of my 13 years in business, I wanted to bless 13 female business owners with $2,020. And I wanted, as I approached, how would my birthday be this year, because it would be very different, how could I demonstrate my faith during this difficult time? And I really thought of no better way than to give back. And so I decided that 13 women would receive $2,020 as a sign of hope, as a sign that just hang in there. I believe in what you're doing, to give them just the belief to don't give up on their dreams. And so interesting, Jonathan, the media picked it up, and within an hour, the 13 women became 20 women, because people called and said, I want to give 2020 so that another woman can be blessed. So on May 20th, we were able to give 20 women $2,020, and it was just thrilling.
Really a remarkable act of generosity, and an example that clearly has already inspired others to give at a time when so many people are stretched and so many people are needing to look inwards. To look to others and give to others is really inspiring. Can you talk about some of the women that you supported and why women entrepreneurship is such an important cause for you?
Well, I'll start with the second part of that question. Why is women entrepreneurship important to me? You know, it's become my life's mission, is to show women how to translate their passion into profit. So much so that I went back and worked on my PhD in entrepreneurship with a focus on women in entrepreneurship. My dissertation is based on a theory called deliberate practice, and that dissertation has become my life's mission, is to transform communities of poverty into communities of prosperity through the promise of middle school girls. And so we are now in our third year of what is a study, but it is a nonprofit that I formed, Envision Lead Grow. And this is the year that we hit 1,000 girls in 48 states, all of them building the foundation of business. And so, yes, they have EIN numbers. But what's important about this program, which really lends itself well to what I'm seeing right now happening, is that we are showing these girls really how to understand business. So many women, people in general, but women, um, they have a love for, let's just say, sewing. They have a love for art. And so they go into business because of what they love, what they're passionate about, without really having the business acumen to be able to understand profit and loss statements, to be able to understand how to ensure that your reserves are baked into your budgeting, how to ensure that you're protecting your intellectual property. Well, I'm happy to say that our girls at the age of 10, 11, and 12, they can teach you all of that. And that's so important because regardless of whether they continue with the business that they're establishing at 10 and 11 years old, imagine the type of employee they will be for an entrepreneur because they understand business. So that's really my why women entrepreneurship? Well, the fact is, there's studies that show you that the number of female entrepreneurs have increased through the years, but still, the total revenue coming into female entrepreneurs pales in comparison to male entrepreneurs. And a lot of that has to do with the industries that we're deciding to go into, a lot of feminist theories about that. And so we try to show our girls and now women that I'm working with to transfer. If you're interested in art, let's talk about something that relates to art from a science and technology, a math perspective, so STEM. So we introduce that to our girls. We crosswalk them into that because when they have thriving businesses that bring in more revenue, they can employ others. And that's how you transform communities of poverty into prosperity. It's not just creating a lifestyle business for yourself, but being able to build a business that can employ others in the community. So the women that were selected, we had a panel. We had about 375 applicants. It was a 2-week process. And every day from May 1st to May 20th, we announced another grantee. And so these women, oh man, they had such strong pitches. And I will tell you, that was the difference between the people who made it and who didn't. I would say probably 75% didn't have strong pitches. And that's something that we work with our girls on. And so you have to be able to state a compelling story. And always be ready. When the opportunity presents itself, we have to be ready. And we as women, this comes from building our self-esteem as little girls. We have to be confident that we have something that's valuable to the world. And so these women, they came from, there was a female-owned glass repair company. I was blown away by that. The panel was like, have you ever heard of a woman who owns a female glass repair? So she goes out and does windshields, etc. We had women who owned container stores or packaging. They actually do work in the shipping industry. We had women who were bakers, and certainly an industry that has been hugely impacted during COVID is the beauty industry. So a lot of hairstylists. I mean, what would we do without our hairstylists? And so several of them who have phenomenal business models, not just about doing hair, but how they do it, how they promote their business, and really understanding what it means to brand themselves. And so those are some of the business owners, just phenomenal women.
You have such a heart for the community and for giving back, and your example is so remarkable. What advice do you have for folks who are looking to make a difference, especially right now in the midst of this pandemic?
My advice is do something. You know, the first day that we were home, and I am still having to motivate and encourage my staff, no matter what's going on with me personally, I still take it very seriously that as the leader, I have to show faith. I have to demonstrate faith in all that I'm doing. And so I remember coming up with my mantra that's carried me through this whole pandemic thus far. It is prayer, plan, press through, and then give praise. And I am telling you, when you go out there and you do something, whether it's volunteering with the food bank to help people eat, whether it is you have $10 that you can donate, whether it is that you can do something online to read to kids who are home to relieve their parents who are going crazy because now they're homeschoolers and teachers, and they never thought they would be in that place. We all have a gift that we can give. This too shall pass, and I am so proud of the way I'm able to conduct myself and demonstrate faith through this. I am telling you, if everyone does something, you're going to be proud of yourself for not succumbing to the fear, to not thinking about, oh, it's so dark. When you give, you see that there's hope. So for as much as those women feel that someone's believed in them and someone gave them a helping hand, I am telling you, they have given that to me. And that is allowing me to press forward even further. So I would say give. We all have the capacity to give.
I think everyone who watches this video will see why you were selected for the Humanitarian Award. And perhaps you've inspired some viewers to step out and do even more so that they might one day be recognized as you have been. Thank you for your example, and thank you for taking some time today to chat with me. It's a real honor.
Thank you for having me.